Hello, we are Lukas Graham, and you are watching Audiophile TV.
Au, di, o, feel. Au, di, o, feel. Au, di, o, feel. Au, di, o, feel. Feel.
Hi guys. What music would you like to be played at your funeral?
We actually, where I'm from, have a little talk. Like once a year, we ask each other, so do you know your psalms? And then we remind each other, so if I die tomorrow, please play these songs at my funeral. It's a little morbid way of doing it, but it's also fun, because some people change the songs from time to time.
So which songs do you have at your funeral?
Well, I have Dejlig er den himmel blå.
Yeah, which you said.
It's a Danish psalm. And then, I don't know, maybe funeral?
Yeah.
I would probably have my own song played at my own fucking funeral. Well, we wrote a song about my funeral. It could be your funeral.
Oh yeah, I would choose that. Yeah, I like that song.
Would you have it too?
Sure. I actually thought about that. Yeah, so definitely.
But maybe it's a little too much to have your own song. So, but hey, if I'm dead, it's cool. It's my family's choice, I guess.
So you on the new album, to present it, the Blue album. You mentioned before you have this song Funeral. I think this album is really a personal album, sir. Is it a story of your life, or how could you describe it?
Well, I do write very autobiography like songs. It's basically stories from my life, but it's also stories from my friend's life. I steal some emotions from my friends and my colleagues when I write songs. There's the big love song on the album as well, What Happened to Perfect, and that is an emotion I never had. I never broke up with a girlfriend like this and had a big broken heart.
But you have had a girlfriend before.
Yeah. But I was just never having this big sad breakup or whatever. So it's like I had to borrow some emotions from my friends.
You're a lucky man then.
Well, they say about love, it hurts a little bit, and if you're lucky, it never stops hurting.
Okay, so is it from one of you guys, the emotion?
Well, maybe. I mean, of course, I have tried that, broken my heart and all the stuff. So I know the feelings, and that's why I love this song so much. Yeah.
So when you're writing these songs, is it only you, or do you also have some influence on the songs, on the lyrics?
It's mostly Lukas. I mean, it's Lukas's stories, it's Lukas' lyrics. From time to time, we get to influence it a little bit, like mostly like making bass tracks and drums and stuff like that. And then Lukas also has like 3 guys that he likes to write and produce with that are also guys that we know from way back from high school. So it's mostly Lukas and those 3 guys. And then we come in and join the party from time to time.
Yeah, we have the 3 invisible members of the Lukas Graham team are the 3 songwriters, producers that we work with a lot. And we've all known each other for 10 years.
Okay, it's like a family thing.
Yeah. Almost. We just love each other a little less than
But you can choose your friends, you can't choose your family. So.
That's right.
Correct.
Do you all have a musical background? I know you have been singing in a boys' choir. So you others, did you study music or?
Yeah, I started at the music conservatorium in Copenhagen.
A bachelor in drums.
Yeah, exactly. But I've played drums since I was 6 years old or something like that.
Okay,
yeah.
So classical drums also?
No, I'm rhythm drums, I will call it, yeah. Modern, yeah.
Modern drums.
Yeah, modern drums.
To name some drums you really like to play on.
Yeah, exactly.
From composers still alive.
Yeah. Also composers who's dead. I mean, yeah.
And Magnus?
Yeah, I started playing the bass when I was 8, and I just like didn't really stop. Then I met this guy. Yeah.
Is it sometimes a little bit weird for you if you're playing songs about his life?
No, not really. I mean, I think the songs that Lukas write, like the basic emotions in all of them is something that most people can like relate to in some way. So I just try to put myself in it and give it everything I have, like both in the studio and on stage. And it's really easy for me, at least. Yeah.
So if you don't like one of the songs, would you say it?
Yeah, definitely.
And if you don't, it's like, fuck you guys. So, and then like 10 years later, it's like, I never really liked that song, Drunk in the Morning. I'm like, dude, you could have told me 10 years ago.
Yeah.
But you mentioned you would be doing ghetto pop. Did you move now to another region or area?
No, it's
It
hasn't become a big city pop yet. I still think we maintain the boyish charm of the ghetto pop that we invented ourselves. It's songs about real people, real lives. It's songs about strippers and girls who aren't the nicest to their boyfriends, and songs about taking the world by storm, coming from a small background and making it bigger. And I think keeping the humbleness from the ghetto in the music is a very important thing for me, at least. I like to have my feet on the ground and walk around my neighborhood and do things I've always done. The only difference now is our opportunities are a little bigger or better, and we maybe have a little more free time and sometimes no free time.
And you're trying to reach out to US now, right?
Yeah.
That was our initial goal, was always to get to America, and this unexpected success in both Denmark and Germany took us by surprise, like a lot. I wasn't expecting this kind of music to be so popular in Denmark and Germany and Scandinavia as it showed or proved to be. So it was like a surprise.
So maybe one time Jay-Z and Dr. Tree will attend your shows, right?
They should. It would be good for them.
I'm convinced they will, because it's really cool. But what is the link with the Jay-Z? Because on the album before, you also had a cover of a Jay-Z song.
Well, the cover on the first album was Bobby Blue Bland is his name cover that Jay-Z sampled, and it had nothing to do with the Jay-Z song that we played this cover. And on this song, it's not a Jay-Z cover. It's a song called Mama Said that I wrote. And coincidentally, 3 of the notes in the chorus are the same as in the musical from Annie.
Only 3 notes?
Only 3 notes. The children's choir do the rest for you.
Okay.
But it's nice. I think for me, people to link it to a song like musical like Annie or Jay-Z's Hard Knock Life, it's like that's a cool reference for me. Like I know I didn't steal the song, so for me it's okay that someone thinks that it sounds similar.
But I think this is really helpful, because if you have the impression that it is familiar to you in the music, you have the impression you know the music for years and years now. So I thought, well, Lukas Graham is here for 10, 20 years in the music biz.
Well, I have been alive for 26 years.
Yeah, I wanted to point out you are so young. Yeah, okay. You also referred to Otis Redding, right?
We do like him.
Yeah, the song Funeral is very Otis Redding style.
Well, thank you very much. I hadn't thought of it like that. But thank you.
Do you think when you're writing about your references? Or
No. I think if you start thinking about your references, then you're fucked. I'm going to write a song that's a little bit like this and a little bit like that. No, just write a good song. Keep the melody and the lyrics in mind first, and then let's fix the music afterwards. It's like a jigsaw puzzle. You can't make the same jigsaw puzzle twice. That's boring. You need to find a new one.
But in the beginnings, a lot of artists are first sort of covering their idols and then developing their own style.
Well, then they're not artists. Then they're just singers.
In the beginnings. But I think you have to grow during your career.
Yeah, definitely. But as we talked about earlier, I started singing professionally when I was 8. So I sang Handel, Bach, Mozart, Tchaikovsky, Verdi, Palestrina, you name them, we sang them. And started doing theater when I was 15, and writing lyrics when I was 12, started writing songs when I was 20. So like, this is what we do. And Mark played the drums since he was 6, so you played the drums for 21 years.
That's great.
So it's like, I think we had plenty of time to find our musical expression before we became a band. Like Magnus knows he wants to sound in a special way when he plays the bass. I know I want to not sing as little in falsetto as possible, and Mark, he wants to be better than Questlove, to say the least.
And what have been your idols in bass playing?
I mean, I've had a lot of idols. Maybe one of the biggest one was like James Jamerson, that was the house bass player on Motown Records.
Okay.
A lot of bass players has him as his idol, but yeah, that's definitely one of the guys who influenced me a lot. Yeah.
He's also a younger bass player.
Yeah, there's also a lot of. I mean, I've listened to a lot of different bass players, but that's probably my main influence. Yeah.
So do you think that is the future of music, to have all those influences from completely different styles and then create your own style?
I think it's also the past of music. Like in all history of music, everyone has like listened to a lot of great music and gotten inspired by it and created their own, and that's how it evolves. Like, yeah. So I think that's the future of music as well. Yeah.
And there are also like waves. So at the moment there's a lot of funk music again and soul music. So after 10 or 20 years, music comes again, I think.
Oh no, when the 90s come back.
Well, this has been a great music, don't you think so?
I was more thinking, I won't mention anything. We should be positive about other musicians.
But the 90s were good. It was a good decade for hip hop.
Yeah.
Oh, good for rap music.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking like Ace of Base and shit like that.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because you.
And Dr. Alban and all this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dr. Alban, I forgot.
But he's also from Scandinavia, so.
Oh, yes.
No, the rap music, 1999, golden fucking year. The record 2001 from Dr. Dre came out there. That's still the best record ever released since the Beatles.
Okay, the Beatles is a good hint because Blue Album, if you look at this album cover, you may have the impression you know it because it is the same cover as the album before, only in blue. So, who had the idea for this?
I did. Because the record label started talking, we need to find a cover and an album title, and I was like, what about the color blue? Just make the album blue.
But
And
blue doesn't sell good. If you have a cover of a magazine which is blue, it doesn't sell.
Really?
Really?
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, we'll have to see.
I hope that that doesn't apply to music.
no, I think, I just think that this cover is describing our music good. A naked woman with some empty bottles of wine. It's an old Playboy cover from 1954.
You can see it. That
Gita
is an old
Ekberg.
cover.
She's
Yeah.
La Dolce Vita.
Okay.
And she's sitting in morning light, and the painting is called The Lady with the Bottles. So it describes the music well. Late nights or early mornings, naked women and booze.
But I thought that in Christiania, it is no hard drugs, alcohol, right? Because where you come from Christiania, there are drugs forbidden, hard drugs.
Hard
and
drugs
violence and weapons.
And violence and weapons are also forbidden. Well, they should be forbidden everywhere, but it doesn't work like that everywhere.
But alcohol is not forbidden
No. Alcohol and weed you can get
on the street.
on the street.
And you are all from this quarter.
Just me.
Okay, so you are the hippie.
You could say that, yes.
Okay. But you have Irish roots, right?
Yeah, my father was from Ireland.
Does this also have some influence on your music? Because people in Ireland, they really can sing very well.
I think my Irish roots have a very large impact on my music, both in the way I sing and the way I write lyrics, but also in the way that we perform. It's a very relaxed setting. I talk with the audience and tell some jokes and some stories. And
So it would work in pubs very well too, your music.
That's how we started.
That's actually how it works best, I think. Yeah.
With some glasses of whiskey and
Yeah,
Guinness.
we did some shows in some bars, me and Mark, when we were younger, and then Mark was playing on a box and some glasses and a table. And we played some folk music in bars and made some. We got free beer.
Yeah.
That was a good deal.
You have to start with things like this, I think, if you do a good or want to have a good career. So a lot of musicians started at the street or in pubs. But isn't it a pity that you're now so successful that you can't play in pubs anymore because there are so many fans who want to come to your concerts?
But we can play in pubs. I mean, we can just do it. And we do it from time to time. Like last week, we played at a restaurant in Copenhagen.
Come on, say it. Your restaurant.
My restaurant.
You have your own restaurant?
Yeah.
No.
But we played there and a lot of people dropped by and it was really cool and really fun. So we still do it from time to time and enjoy it very much. Yeah.
Okay, but you have your own restaurant, really?
Yeah, we opened like 6 months ago in Copenhagen.
You should have Alex Clare as a cook because he is a cook before he started his musical career.
Ah, okay. Well, if I meet him someday, I'll ask him if he wants to go back.
This would be the hit, I think.
Yeah. Him and Action Bronson in the kitchen.
Action Bronson would love sliders.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, I will be the waitress then, okay?
You're very welcome.
Bring the cameras.
Do you have a favorite title on this album?
We talked about it yesterday, and I think the collective song for everyone is 7 Years. Mm-hmm. And then, like after that, I think one of Mark's favorite is What Happened to Perfect. And for me, I like You're Not There and Happy Home. And I think it changes from day to day, really. Yeah. Some days I really like What Happened to Perfect, and some days I think it's a little cheesy. Depends on the mood.
I like it. I think it is a good ballad. The other one are more the up-tempo songs. So, but at the moment, it is all new material, all new songs for you. So this makes it easier. But is it sometimes a little bit boring if you have to play your hits evening for evening?
I think when you go on stage, remembering how many people came just to see you makes it a lot easier to play a song you played many times. But also for us, it's important that you remember to change the way you perform it live. Mm-hmm. Like we talk about it a lot when we from tour to tour and from show to show, to remind each other that maybe there's 10,000 people out there, but then Magnus looks at me and says, but it's only us, Lukas, remember, just sing to me and everything will be great. Because when we just play with each other, we're 3 now, but there's a 4th guy, he had to go home. Casper plays the piano with us.
Also the Hammond B3?
Yeah, he also plays, he plays anything, actually.
Okay, because there are at least 2 songs with the Hammond.
The B-52.
Yeah.
It's a very nice organ. We rented it in Los Angeles. A truck came out and put an organ on the parking lot and said, do you like it? And we tried it and said, well, this note isn't working. Then they took a new one out.
Really?
Do you like this one? Yeah, this one works.
Cool.
Yeah. But I definitely feel like when you're playing live that the audience like feed you energy. So you can be playing like one song for the 500th time. But if the crowd is there and enjoying it, we're enjoying it as well. Yeah, definitely.
So what about the crowd? Are there 1,000 people, 10,000 people? Which has been the biggest venue you've been playing?
The biggest venue we played has been like 3,400 or something, 3,500. Biggest festival is like 40,000.
Wow.
And biggest show we did with Happy Home was 100,000 plus outside. So it's... we have a fan base.
Have you already have, or has there been a concert that didn't work, that you couldn't get the crowd?
No, actually not. We've had concerts where we felt it was bad, and the audience still really liked it. But also, it's hard to talk about it in that way because we've all done our instruments for so long that we know our tricks, how to get the audience up. Maybe we change a new song in, we do something, and you can always get the audience to work with you.
Okay, with the drummer solo.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. That
works.
always a good trick, isn't it?
It is, definitely.
Mark, play a drum solo. We need to get these people fucking going. Yeah, I think it's if you can't get the audience to work for you, then you should choose a different job. It's not a job; it's a hobby.
You're paid for now.
Yeah, luckily.
Yeah.
Then we can keep doing it.
Yeah, that's perfect. And are you improvising on stage?
Yeah. All the bullshit I say in between the songs is pretty much new from night to night.
And that's like back to what you said about things getting boring. That's how you keep it fresh, by always improvising. And then you kind of have to accept the fact that something might go wrong, but that's also the thing that keeps it exciting. So if you do the same thing every night, you get bored with it. So you need to keep it fresh, and then you have some nights that are better than others, and that's why you do it. So you always strive to be better, and that's the exact thing that makes it fun to go on stage. Yeah.
I could imagine that your music would perfectly work with a big band or with an orchestra. Did you think about these opportunities before?
Yes, we did.
And
We tried that once.
We did it for a TV show once.
Yeah.
We'd love to have like a symphony orchestra
Yeah.
playing with us, right?
But still, I like the expression of just the 4 guys on stage with 3 men in the brass section. I think the next move we get is we get some choir singers. And then if we can afford it, maybe we get the symphony orchestra one day.
Or maybe just like a little group of strings.
Just like six strings.
yes, 6 girls with
Yes.
violins and
6
cello.
very, very beautiful girls.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. No violence.
Just 6 beautiful girls sitting
Okay.
sitting on stage.
Is there a good symphony orchestra at Copenhagen? I think so.
Mm.
From the radio station, right?
Yeah, they're good.
They're really good.
Yeah.
Don't they have a German conductor? I'm not sure, but I thought.
We're not that familiar with them.
Okay,
But you
so
have a good one here in Germany, here in Berlin.
yes,
Yeah,
sure.
Maybe one of the best.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we have 3 really good orchestras here
Yeah.
in Berlin. So.
Mhm.
And will there be any unplugged album?
Maybe.
Yeah. Who knows? Who knows?
We like the difference between the more produced drum sound on our records and then the live sound of live. So it's we do more like unplugged sessions, just YouTube videos, because it's more fun. I think an unplugged album would take away the joy of seeing it being performed. I think you need the visual with the unplugged, otherwise it becomes a little dull.
Okay.
Not so much depth in the unplugged.
For the concept of this album, so I think it's not by accident that the color is blue, because
It's completely by accident the color is blue.
Really?
It's completely.
It's a lucky coincidence, maybe. Yeah.
So you're singing a lot about your father.
Yeah.
Is this something that moves you very much?
Well, Magnus said it earlier today that I write songs about what goes on around me, and the last 3 years have very much been about my father not being alive. And to me, I don't want to write songs about nothing. So even the more funny songs like Strip No More or Heyo, they are about something. I can't just write a song about money, or like it doesn't interest me. I rather would write about a feeling and make people believe in this feeling. And I think it usually works very well on stage, that the people can hear that I mean what I sing, so they feel it a bit more, and I can feel they feel it, so I feel it more, and it's like a reciprocating effect. It just builds itself up bigger and bigger. It's but yeah, I think I'm done writing about my father for a while, but I'll probably, when I get my first child, I'm gonna be disappointed that my father's not there to become a grandfather. And like when I get married, I'm gonna be sad my father's not there in the church, but hey, that's life. Just get used to it and move the fuck on. Like there's no reason to be sad every day that your parents are dead. Like they're not coming back to life just because you're sad about it. So I think writing songs make me take the feelings out of my body, kind of like going to a psychologist or something. And then I just write my own psychologist analogy. Like I write how I feel down on a piece of paper and I record it. I recorded a lot of songs about my father that I'm never going to release, but they're there now, and I got the feelings out. And
are you feeling then relieved?
No, you keep reliving it. If you lose a parent, it's not going to stop hurting. It's just going to become easier living with this hole. It's like yeah, I don't know how to explain it. It's like somebody took a part of your body out and it's never coming back. And there's just this huge vacuum of love that's not there, compliments you're not going to get back. And at the end of the day, if you can live with this hole and just visit it once in a while, don't close it. If you close it, you're just going to become bitter and mad and sad. But if you have it open and you can go back to this feeling, like sometimes I still tell the guys before a show, hey, today is a tough one. Then I get a little hug and a pat on the back, and maybe we drink a little rum before we go on stage, and everyone's like, we miss him too. And then we go on stage and we fucking kill it.
So that's family, isn't it? Yeah. So I wish you that the next album will be pink or yellow.
I think purple, maybe.
Oh,
in the spirit
purple.
of Prince, make it purple.
Perfect. So I'm looking forward to your purple album. But at the moment, enjoy the blue album.
From Lukas Graham.
From Lukas Graham. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having us.
Ow. D. O. Feel. Boom, boom, boom.